Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2026 mod career mode, part number 6 today for the British Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the previous one at the Monaco GP, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one, as we really finally got off the mark, I feel, in this season with some lightning pace around the Principality, an epic little battle with Oscar Piastri. You know, the start didn't go our way, but we just kept plugging away. We had clear pace over the circuit, and eventually, with the right strategy, able just to jump Piastri in the pits. We were both on a different level though, pushing each other, and we saw it through to the end. We're now, well, we're still in P5, but we've now closed up to be a Gasly, and we can maybe get going a little bit, I feel. You know, the season in terms of the momentum maybe for us begins now, because up till here, you know, Gasly, having won that race, you know, looked again to be leading the team once again, but we've now got a win under our belt, and the car is clearly in a very good place right now. We should have won the Spanish Grand Prix, so that's already potentially would have been 2 wins in a row. It's only 1 here, but can we carry forward this momentum into Silverstone? It's very close though between Piastri, Alonso and Lawson though, and there's a gap there that does need to be bridged, so we do need to be performing well to even be back in the realm of the top fight early on in this season. I say early on, I mean we're now approaching, you know, into the kind of a second quarter, if you will, of the season. We're in it right now, but everything is kind of staying the same right now with the R&D. Of course, remember, we're pretty much at maxed out cars. I think maybe even McLaren and Red Bull are at a maxed out car, so it's not surprising that progress is plateauing for most of the teams in the top half. Bottom half, you know, leads a bit more to be desired, but I feel like as we go on through this season, they will be able to catch up, and if they do, it's going to be a very close field. But yeah, in terms of everyone's R&D pace, no one has made a single upgrade now for the last 3 episodes. Kind of maybe makes me think one of these teams will have a massive upgrade to come in the next episode. And of course we do as well, I think. We have our final ultimate upgrade on the fuel efficiency, so that's going to be pretty good once it comes in. And then obviously we then also need to roll into looking at our engine hurdles that come with the build your own engine mod for this game, because that in itself has another fuel efficiency, because our engine, the mod, actually makes the engine burn a bit more fuel than usual as default. So right now in qualifying, and as we go into Q1, I wanted to do 2 consecutive laps, but because of the fuel burn, I haven't noticed it as much at other circuits, but I think at Silverstone, high-speed circuit, on throttle, a lot of the time you do notice it. I didn't have enough fuel to do 2 runs, even though I set the fuel level to what I'd normally do for 2 runs in a row. So yeah, definitely once that final actual in-game upgrade comes in, then we'll move our attention to the mod upgrade with the fuel efficiency with the engine hurdle. But right now, just getting through this session, thankfully through into Q2 with just that 1 lap time then under our belt in P14, but still a bit of pace to find then clearly, you know, 7/10 off the P1, Gasly 4/10 off, so 3/10 difference there between myself and Pierre. But Q2 feeling a bit better, the track is getting definitely a bit quicker, and we're feeling a bit better through the first sector, able to try and float the car through, a little bit iffy on the rear end at times still, you know, to say we've got a maxed out car. There are a few flashes of oversteer, but that's probably coming from the engine power that we've got with this Lamborghini power unit. But Gasly, well, he was provisional P1 at the moment. We're going to go top though, and Piastri in second place behind, and by the end of the session, others do set quicker lap times, but myself and Gasly quite closely matched, both into the top 10 shootout. Usual suspects with both McLarens, both Red Bulls, although Alonso looking pretty slow once again in Q2 at least. Verstappen makes it through as the sole Ferrari, so that's quite promising, because he had a bit of a quiet Monaco GP. The only thing he did at Monaco was hold me up as a back marker and a lapped car, so he makes it through. Is he finally now getting into rhythm with that Scuderia? We'll see. And Leclerc also in the Mercedes after having such a woeful home Grand Prix in the top 10, whereas his teammate Russell is out of it. So a few different differences maybe between teammates and the teammate dynamic in different outfits as we're now into the top 10 shootout. We've got 2 free tyres to use, just like we had in Monaco, thankfully. We're going to get a bit of a slipstream off Leclerc here, and you may think, what's the point of, trying to move around for that slipstream? But honestly, that actually might make a little bit of a difference for us. And Fernando Alonso on an in-lap, so he gets out of the way, thankfully. Easy does it under braking. That left-hander always so tricky with the curb on the inside. The AI do so well to navigate that complex of corners here at Silverstone. We come across the line. Oh my God, 0.030 behind Lando Norris, who's on provisional pole. So right now, provisionally, it's a 1-2 for the Brits here on the front row. Piastri P4, Gasly, our teammate P3, and at the death of it, at the session, it's still the same. We've gained marginally, but lost some time in the next right-hander. And maybe that slipstream of Leclerc really was a pretty damn decent way to go as we muck it up. We've mucked it up in the last corners. That was the pressure getting to me. I really wanted the pole position at the home Grand Prix. To be honest, even before I made that mistake, we'd already lost the advantage we gained marginally on that second lap. So it looks like really that first lap was the maximum potential, and there was not much in it for me in terms of things to gain. But it's still second place, but I would have loved the pole at the home race. But I'll take a front row. It's an all British front row lockout. Lando Norris, though, the lead Red Bull here compared to Fernando Alonso, struggling a bit more at this circuit down in P6. Piastri P4. Lawson struggled a tad in P7 because even he's been out-qualified by Albon, doing very well in P5 in the Aston Martin Honda. For us, surely we're aiming for a strong podium, but I want more. Build on that momentum from Monaco. Let's go for that elusive win at the home race. Let's go to the grid.
Welcome everyone as you join us at a former Second World War aircraft base, now converted into one of the great motor racing tracks. Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, and long may that continue. This is Silverstone, and this is the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, and the owner-driver alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson, Leclerc, Ocon, Verstappen, Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Russell, Théo Pourchaire, Tsunoda, Sainz, Bottas, Drugovich, Hülkenberg, Perez, Zhou, and Logan Sargent. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
It may very well be another battle of the bulls with Red Bull P1. We're here in second place with our gold bull powering us of Lamborghini. Gasly behind, so it's a similar situation to Spain, although it's Norris instead of Fernando Alonso. But Piastri's there, P4, but McLaren didn't look as hot around here, so maybe this is one of those circuits where they're going to be a bit slower, as we've seen so far this season. It is very track dependent when you get to maxed out cars in this game, so maybe this is one of the circuits where McLaren won't be as hot as they were maybe at Monaco, where it was me and Piastri just in a world of our own. Maybe it's going to be all about myself and Lando Norris. Well, I'm hoping to turn the tide and make this P2 a P1 and try and make up for the kind of, mediocre start we had in Monaco. Can we try and out-traction Lando Norris here off the line and get that lead early on as we go to 5 red lights here at Silverstone? It's the home Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go for the British Grand Prix, and it is a great start for us. We make up for Monaco, and into turn 1 we're going to be leading the home race ahead of Lando. Gasly in third place. Alonso, very quick start for him. He's up to P3 nearly. He's from P6. He's gone up to P3 nearly. He's down to P4 as Gasly defends. But no, he has actually done it, sorry. Alonso into P3. The two Red Bulls are looking so quick. Lando Norris looking to retake the lead. We nearly squeeze him onto the grass and nearly tap tyres as we go side by side through left field. Lando on the outside. We're on the inside. We're trying to open up the steering wheel to squeeze him out. Unfortunately, though, bit of contact made, and Lando keeps his foot in there and gets P1 back. But my God, how? Oh, what the? Alonso! He's on the in. Where the hell has this come from? Where has this pace come from? The Red Bulls have come alive on lap 1 here at Silverstone. Unbelievable. I can't believe Alonso went from P6, was it? P6 or 7, whatever it was, up to P3, and then actually had a go at me on the inside of Copse there, and he's still having a go at us as I check for damage, because I was worried about that contact we made with Lando, but my team tell me there is no damage on the front left of the front wings, but Alonso's got us. Alonso's got us. Whilst I've been talking about that damage, it didn't matter that we don't have any damage, because Alonso's just so rapid, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. Hang on a minute, what is going on here? Are they just going to run away with this? Maybe not, because Fernando Alonso on lap 2 is now going for the overtake. The two teammates are now side by side into Maggotts and Beckett, and they're going to continue to be side by side, and that's going to let us reel them in a little bit, and we're going to be a bit patient and just wait for the right opportunity to make a move. But it's very Noah's Ark right now in the top 4, 2x2, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Lamborghinis, and then Albon and Piastri close behind, as Fernando Alonso has finally actually got that P1 he was chasing after. But it looks like these two teammates, oh, they really want it, because Lando Norris outbrakes Alonso. Bit of contact on the inside, but he's on through for P1. Can we have our Lewis Hamilton moment? Can we come through for the double overtake? Not yet. There's nothing separating these two, so much so that they're actually blocking me through this part of the circuit. They're boxing me in, and Gasly is right up behind us as well. It's great to see, but also frustrating in the cockpit, because I feel like we could make a double pass somewhere, but these two are making the cars so wide, battling each other, that we're finding it tough to make a breakthrough here. But unbelievable squabbling going on between teammates today, because even Gasly now fancies a go at myself. What is in the water here? What is in the coding for Silverstone in today's episode? Unbelievable stuff. So it's now Lando back in the lead, Alonso P2. We get a wash of oversteer in the dirty air in P3 to just stay ahead of Gasly, but Gasly's on us, absolutely, and gets to the inside, and we're going to actually let off a little bit and not put up too much of a fight, because the problem is if we fight Gasly too much, we have no chance of keeping up with the Red Bulls. So I'm playing the team game, playing the smart game of let's not fight too much now, because all that's going to do is give the Red Bulls a gap, even though they're squabbling as well. So giving Gasly the room there, but we've got information on Gasly. He has got a car issue. The second I let him pass, he's now got a mechanical issue that's going to slow him down. Obviously, we've had our fair share of issues with our custom-made engine with the Lamborghini so far in the series, so it's now Gasly's turn to have some issues of his own, whether it's a jammed gear or something, I don't know. Clearly not as bad as it was in Las Vegas for me, but Gasly now is going to be slow and maybe coming to the clutches of the two McLarens. As the two Red Bulls, well, they just continue to squabble amongst each other. We saw a glimpse of this rivalry in Abu Dhabi in that episode in round number 3 of this season, and now it's going to hurt the two Red Bulls because they're so busy fighting each other. And here we come through round the outside to get first place. 2 for 1 pass on the Red Bulls. Thank you very much. And at this point, Christian Horner, oh my God, yeah, Christian Horner's having an aneurysm right now, because I'm pretty sure Alonso just made contact with Lando Norris there into the left-hander, clouted the curb, and their infighting has not only lost them first place, but yeah, now I think Alonso actually has damage. Look at that front wing. Yeah, look at that. On the right-hand side of his front wing, the left-hand side of your screen, he's got damage. He's got no end plate. So, yeah, Horner tearing out his hair right now because the two Red Bulls have not only lost first place, but now Alonso will have to pit early. But Lando Norris continues to show that he's just up for a scrap today, it would seem. He's scrapping with me, scrapping with Alonso, and he's overtaken us honest, I thought about maybe sticking it down the inside of left field, but with the way Lando's been driving today, he really wants this win. He's been very aggressive, so we're just playing it a little bit patiently to make sure we can make the pass in a clean manner as we try and go on the inside. Oh, so close. Between us two on the left-hand side, we go defensive to the inside now for the next chicane, but Lando comes back to... This is unbelievable racing, I've got to say. This is crazy. It's been wall to wall. We're still at it through the final two corners. Lando's AI, he's so on it. He's so on it. That outbraking maneuver into the chicane was epic, but we managed to stay ahead in P1, but for how much longer? Because Norris comes in knocking on the door once again, but also Piastri's in there as well. The Australian on the inside. We're going to back out of that because 3 into that corner was not going to go well, but unfortunately Liam Lawson now overtakes me, so in driving in a manner to avoid an accident, I've given up a position, but we're going to be re-overtaking Lawson to P3, but now we need to catch back up to Piastri and Lando Norris. But the problem is, in all of this, on lap 7, as Piastri battles Norris for the lead, I check my heads-up display, and I do have damage. It's not from lap 1 though, because I double checked, remember, and my engineer said there was no damage, so I don't know when that's come. Maybe you guys can suss that out, but at some point there's been some sort of contact and I've broken a bit of my left hand side of the front wing. So we do very well though on lap 9 at that point to still be within a second of Piastri and Norris, but I decided to come in because, well, one, I think we're going to have better pace on the hard tyres. Alonso right now, who pit early for that damage, remember, he's actually holding the fast lap of the Grand Prix, showing in clean air you can go quicker on the hard tyres. So I reckon this is a good time to come in, not only for the tyres, but then also that damage, because I did very well for about 2-3 laps there to keep within a second of Piastri and Norris with the broken wing, but I was starting to feel it, and I'd rather cut my losses, get that new front wing on. We do lose, 4 seconds making that pit stop with that change of the front wing, so that's going to be unfortunate. Alonso goes through on the left-hand side there, and he's going to be about 4 seconds ahead of us. So pretty much, if it wasn't for that front wing damage, I'd be where Alonso is, but it won't matter. Lap 12, we just get our head down. 2 laps after we pit, we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and we're starting to catch Fernando Alonso. We're catching other cars as well. Felipe Drugovich, easy move there. We're now under 2 seconds to Alonso. We're using these hard tyres once again to good use and using battery on the exit of turn 1 to try and maybe get ahead of Piastri as they both exit the pits. Norris and Piastri, we get ahead of the Australian at Village on the outside just about, but Lando maintains the advantage over us. But I think we've done very well in those 4 laps to negate the front wing change. If it wasn't for the front wing change, I would have been laughing. I would have been down the road by miles on these guys. And look at this though. Alonso, effectively leading the race once everyone makes the pit stops, is overtaken immediately by Lando Norris on his outlap, just showing that, yeah, sure, okay, we've got that advantage of pitting earlier, but now maybe the hard tyres, a little bit worn already for Fernando Alonso because he pits. When was it? Like lap, was it 5, I think? So early in this race. And so to that effect, we make an easy pass on him on the inside of Village. As much as he wants to fight that, his tyres are so much older than mine, and even more so Norris and others. And so to that effect, Alonso now probably has company of Liam Lawson very soon. But yeah, it's Lando from myself, Alonso. Lawson is now the lead McLaren. Piastri not looking too great on these hards in P5. Leclerc doing very well for Mercedes. Very stark difference to Monaco in P6 for the Silver Arrows, but he's got his old friend Albon right close up behind him. Then Tsunoda, Schumacher P9, and Ocon P10, and obviously Gasly with those mechanical issues is in P11, but looks like he's up to full speed again, so maybe this is now the start of the recovery drive for Pierre Gasly, solving those temporary issues. Hopefully our pit wall did, and now he's up into P10, overtaking Ocon. We've got moves going on left, right, and centre between Leclerc and Albon as well. These two going toe-to-toe. This is great to see. We haven't seen too much of these two teams so far in the series, but it's Mercedes v Aston Martin Honda, and Albon gets the better of the Mercedes. And as we move on to Village, we've got Lawson getting the better of Fernando Alonso, but they're going to continue to squabble. Alonso on the outside, Lawson on the inside. This is great to see, as Alonso, though, unfortunately, with that early pit stop, I think he's just feeling the tyre wear. And sorry, that was actually Piastri. So he's been overtaken by both McLaren. So yeah, Alonso showed a lot of promise, a lot of pace initially. But because he pit so early, his tyres are clearly so much more worn already in this race. Whilst we overtake Lando Norris quite easily on the outside there. But he's going to come back at us. And once again, Lando Norris just has such a great line through that left-hander. He's on the inside still. This is turning into an absolute banger of a race. Thrilling stuff here as we get into P1 again. Lando has to settle for second place, but he's going to stick with us through Village, looking in the mirrors. Where is he? We're going to go defensive. He's on the outside. He's going to switch it from left to right and try and dance his way, kind of, you know, trying to find a way around us. But we're holding through in P1 for now, but we've just seen how rapid this Red Bull seems to be in a straight line, in DRS especially. Here he goes once again. We squeeze him to the left. We're going to maintain the outside line, but he actually goes wide. And actually, if I held my line there, we would have had a crash. So I'm actually quite thankful we broke a little bit early and just trying to play this safe because I want the win, but we need to do this smart because clearly these guys around us, they've got the gloves off. They don't care if we make contact. They don't care. I mean, literally, Lando and Alonso crashed together, battling each other. So, yeah, something's in the coding today at Silverstone. These AI are absolutely on one. So, we're just playing it smart, and we'll have another opportunity to overtake, I think, for P1. But meanwhile, we've got Piastri and Alonso fighting each other hammer and tong here. So Lawson's kind of in no man's land in P3 then. He's actually closed up to us, to be fair. Liam Lawson could be part of the battle for P1, whilst Alonso and Piastri are too busy squabbling over each other and just losing about 3 seconds, that is, to the top three as Alonso gets back ahead. And look at all these moves going on. Leclerc on Tsunoda. Schumacher has re-overtaken Pierre Gasly because Gasly was actually ahead of Schumacher before that point. So maybe showing Ferrari are slowly maybe getting better into a groove. You know, the drivers are finding the car better. I don't know. Meanwhile, lap 18, here we go. I said there was another opportunity to make a pass for P1, and there is on lap 18 with DRS. And this time, we're going to learn from our mistakes. Twice I've defended the inside, and Lando's gone through. So this time, I defend the outside, the racing line. I just stay on it instead of covering the inside like you usually would in racing maneuvers. And that blocks off Lando Norris. So just learning as we've gone through this race the best way to do this. But again, the Red Bull comes back at us. We go defensive to the inside for this quick right-hander. Lawson, though, he's arrived. Lawson's arrived. And you know what? He's right up the gearbox of that Red Bull now. I reckon Lawson can get this fight. Look at this. Fernando Alonso wrestling the car through to keep it going with Piastri. This has been a biblical battle, to be honest here. These two are really not giving each other any respite. And that was just a great shot once we got onto the onboard. You know, Alonso literally soaring away at the steering wheel, trying to keep it through as we see it. Leclerc, Tsunoda, Schumacher has got away from Gasly. So Gasly not looking too great anymore. Has he got another temporary issue maybe? We obviously saw in Las Vegas we had 2 lots of gear jams. So maybe Gasly's got 2 lots of whatever issue he has in the cockpit for his engine as we defend Lando Norris for the 3rd time in this section. And again, sticking on the racing line, but you can see on the bottom right we used all the deployment. So you know, make no mistake, we are pushing so hard. We're pushing the ERS to deplete the battery every lap to stay ahead here. But these guys just keep on at it with the pressure as we go defensive into Village. Lando on the outside, we get the elbow out, and here comes Liam Lawson. Look at the traction there for the McLaren. On the inside, the Kiwi is looking to try and get up into P2. On the outside of Lando Norris, it's Red Bull v McLaren now. It's a drag race. They're both going to have slipstream and DRS on me, and they're going to try it either side of us. Lando charges on the inside. We get it a bit crossed up, and what a move by Lawson. Lawson has just taken candy from a baby. He's taken 2 positions for 1. That was a great move, but it's going to be short-lived because we do have the pace to re-overtake. But that was unbelievable. I was so preoccupied with just trying to avoid contact with Lando. We went way too deep into left field, and Lawson just sliced through the middle of us. But we have that straight line speed. You know, we know from earlier in the season how good this Lamborghini engine actually is that we've built over the course of last season in this series. And we're into P1 again, and now is a very interesting period of the race because Norris and Lawson, they start to fight a bit too much here. You can see they're still at it side by side. It's not a great camera angle here on the nose cam to see what's happening, but Lawson is on the inside there, and the McLaren is into P2, and Norris has to back out of it. But these two will continue to squabble onto lap 23. Lando pulls out to the inside. Lawson trying to cover him off for the inside of the field, and now look at the gap to us. It's 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.9, nearly 2 seconds nearly. So these two fighting so much has just given us so much room to breathe. So all of a sudden, we're on the second last lap of the Grand Prix. This race has gone by in a flash. It's been a whirlwind of action-packed drama all race long. But we're now going on towards the last lap of the Grand Prix, and I'm actually cruising 3.3 seconds ahead of Norris and Lawson. Meanwhile, we've got moves going on for Leclerc. This is the Mercedes overtaking a McLaren, and we've got Schumacher versus Tsunoda. Unbelievable. So Piastri's pace has been so poor that Leclerc, of all people, and the Mercedes has caught up to him. And we're seeing Schumacher and Tsunoda fight. Is this the beginning of, the journey of maybe Mercedes and Ferrari actually now starting to look better in this season? This is the first race where we've seen a Mercedes anywhere near a McLaren, really, and Schumacher looking a bit punchy, and Gasly, well, he's in P9. He just hasn't been able to recover. Meanwhile, Russell and Verstappen, though, P15 and 17. Russell's being attacked by Sergio Perez in the Andretti. Honestly, I'm as puzzled as you guys at why these two are so slow. Russell and Verstappen, they're some of the best rated drivers on this game, even now in this season. So it's actually very baffling to me what's going on with these two AI drivers. I don't know what's happening, but they're just performing not as well as their counterparts, as their teammates at times, because both Schumacher and Leclerc lead their teammates in the standings. As on the last lap, we see Schumacher still trying to have a go at Tsunoda, and on the last lap, into the last sector, Lawson is trying to spoil the party for the Brit, as he's going to split us two to get second place. But for me, I'm still going to be partying, because we're going to come through. It's going to be the win from Monaco to Silverstone. Back-to-back victories for AAR Lamborghini. Come on! That is probably I think that's the first back-to-back victory I've had ever on this game. I think that is madness. That is a madness. What a race. And we finally did it. We finally won a home race on this game. Incredible stuff. Amazing race for us.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Waving the Union Jack on the top step of the podium. That is what you love to see. Oh, it feels good to be here, especially after the start of the season we had. This is why we were doing it. This is why we were building our own engine, why we went through some of the hurdles and the pain at the start of the season, because when this car's working and when this engine's working well, there you go. 2 back-to-back wins. Really great. Really great. I'm so chuffed with that. And to be fair, Lawson and Norris fighting so much did help us. But ultimately, that's the thing. Earlier in the race, we were playing the clever game. We're not fighting too much certain drivers, knowing that we would come back through. And, so we played that very smart there. Gasly, P9, unfortunate race for him with issues all race long. But, yeah, also question marks. So I'm just going back to that Verstappen-Russell thing. I really don't know why they're not performing. They really should be right up there with their teammates, with Leclerc and with Schumacher. So that's a real puzzler because, like I said, yeah, Leclerc is the lead Mercedes car in the standings and Schumacher's the lead Ferrari. And so with that win now, 2 wins in a row, that gets us now into the frame within 10 points of P1. Liam Lawson takes the lead of the championship. Alonso 4 points back, level on points with Piastri, and we're close behind in 4th place. Gasly now is the one who will want to bridge the gap a little bit, but look at this. Because McLaren have been so good as a duo, Piastri and Lawson both scoring, this is definitely going to be a much harder fight than it was last season to actually win the Constructors, because they're still 25 points ahead of us, even with 2 wins in a row for our team. So that is going to definitely go all the way to the end, I think, and it's going to be quite a tough one, but it's a challenge we're up for. But guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, a brilliant home Grand Prix win, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.